Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you are having at home and staying safe. And we'd like to welcome you all for another episode of our webinar, where today we're discussing about the University of Liverpool. And we have Ms. Sahil from the University representative from University of Liverpool, where we will be discussing about the things you can do at the university, the programs, the scholarships, and the most asked questions. Okay, what are the things that are happening at UK with the current quarantine systems and things like that. So Ms. Sahil, over to you to start the presentation.
Hi guys, a very good afternoon. My name is Salaria and today we're going to have a very quick session about University of Liverpool. So I'm just going to briefly talk about the entry requirement, the courses and the university, the city and the present condition of the UK. All right. So I hope you guys can see my screen. So I'm just going to share, a small presentation with you guys. So Pragit, I hope my screen is visible
Yeah,
to
it's
you.
visible.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So as you can see on my first slide itself, that's the main building that we have, all right? And we have a very beautiful architecture, right? So you can see that that's the red building and we are also known as the original red brick university. So in total, there are only 6 red brick universities and University of Liverpool is coined as the original red brick. So anywhere you go to the university's website, we also have that logo that we are original, all right? So we pride ourselves on that we are the first red brick universities and more than there are around 120 universities in the entire UK and there are only 6 which are known as the red brick universities. Okay, since we are a traditional university, we have a very beautiful architecture and that is just one of the building that I'm showing you, a most popular one. And the campus is huge. Now talking about the campus, it's location, proximity, I'll come in a while. It is just to start you up something. All right. So talking about University of Liverpool, we were established in 1881. We are more than 160 years old. We are also member of the Russell Group. Many of you must be aware of Ivy League in America and University of Eight in Australia, right? So similarly, we are part of Russell Group. So it is there are around 12 universities which are in Russell Group, and University of Oxford, University of Cambridge are also member of Russell Group. So what basically you mean by Russell Group is that we are pioneers of research and we do research in various fields, so that is heavily funded and supported by the government. So we are in the top of our field when it comes to research, when it comes to teaching excellence and course framework, stuff like that. So all the best universities in the UK, they come under the Russell Group University. So we are also home to 9 different Nobel Prize winners, and which only shows our accomplishments. So we have alumni of the university who have went out in the world and they have made a mark for themselves. We are the only UK university which has a full clinical education coverage, which includes biosciences, clinical medicine, health sciences, dentistry, veterinary science, and tropical medicine. All right. We were also the first UK university to establish department in architecture, biochemistry, civic design, and oceanography. All right. We were the first university who had a department in these core subjects. Talking about core subjects, we provide more than 400 degree programs. All right. By the end of the session, if you want, I can provide you a list of courses, masters and UG. So we have more than 400 courses that we're offering to our international students in over different, in over 54 subject areas. At the moment, there are more than 33,000 students which are studying with us on campus, and out of those 33,000 students, more than 8,000 students are international students. Okay, we also have a global network of more than 216 alumni which are spread all over the world, and we recruit students from all across from countries all over the world, right? So we are recruiting students from over 171 different countries. So if you come to UK, if you come to Liverpool, if you study with us at the University of Liverpool, you will see that not only you have students there from Sri Lanka or India or Pakistan, Bangladesh, you'll also see students from Australia, America, China, Vietnam, and all different parts of the world. Now, speaking a bit more about the city, there are 6 universities in Liverpool, and there are more than 90,000 students studying overall, and just 30 students, 1/3 of the entire student population there in the Liverpool city is studying at University of Liverpool. We have more than 64 million visitors annually, right? So there are tourists and there are visitors coming from all over the world to come visit the city because it's a beautiful city and it is known for its skyline, or the World Heritage Skyline. It is the only city which has the most number of museums, galleries, apart from London, because obviously London is the capital. But everything that an international student needs, whether it is complex shopping malls, theaters, museums, restaurants, cafes, pubs, everything. So it is not located in a rural city. All right, the campus is right in the middle of Liverpool, so you don't have to travel miles and miles to reach the university campus. And also the city is quite vibrant, quite beautiful, and I'll speak about the city more in depth in the coming slides, because one of the major things that the student chooses when they're deciding which university to study at is which city they are going to live in, right? No point in traveling all the way to the UK to study in a very small university in a rural campus, a rural area, and then you have to travel miles to reach the city or a decent shop or a cafe. So if you do your research, many of you must already be aware of Liverpool, because it's one of the most established, most popular city in the UK. So many of the students just know about London because that's a capital, but apart from that, you have Birmingham, you have Sheffield, you have Leeds, and Liverpool, which is north, more towards Scotland. So it is also quite popular, quite established, quite well developed. Talking about the connectivity, we are quite connected with there is proper transportation and communication. So if you're landing in the UK, you will require at least, it will take you 45 minutes to reach from the Manchester airport to come to our university building campus. And we also have a smaller airport, which is a Liverpool airport. It's a local airport, and it's only for students who are traveling in the UK, right? But if you're coming from Sri Lanka to UK, you will be dropped off at Manchester airport, and we are providing private car services. Before we had shuttle and bus services, but because of the COVID situation, we are providing you car services. So you need to book your private car 48 hours prior to your landing date and time. Just put in the information and somebody from the university will arrange transportation for you. All right, apart from the airport access, we also have very good railway access. So we are quite connected by Manchester, which is only 45 minutes away from train. London, just a couple of hours, 2 hours. Newcastle, 3 hours. And if you want to go to Edinburgh, which is in Scotland, it will only take you 4 hours. So it's a direct from one city to the another. You don't have to travel a lot to reach the station. Now, this is quite important when it comes to knowing more about the city. So here you can see that University of Liverpool was awarded the best city for student life according to the Watch University Guide in 2018. Most of the students who come from a different country, they are quite apprehensive, they're quite nervous. So it helps, it goes a long way if the natives of those cities are quite welcoming, they're warm and friendly. So Liverpool was also voted as the most kindliest and the most friendliest UK city according to Travelodge. Like I told you, it has many galleries, museums, many pubs, shopping complex, everything that a student needs for something outside of the university. One of the most important thing was named the best place to be a graduate for employment opportunities, affordability, and lifestyle. So not only the university, not only the city is pocket friendly, it is affordable. It is also known as the best place to be an employment graduate. So you're known for the Liverpool city is known for its lifestyle, affordability, and employment opportunities, amongst many other things. Okay, so here you have the world rankings. So according to the 2020 rankings that we had, so the QS position at 181 and the Times position at 165th. Coming to UK rankings, we are positioned at 27. So out of the 120, 30 universities that are in the UK, coming in the top 30 is a huge achievement in itself. Also, the Times Higher ranking gave us 29th position in the entire table. Talking about a University of Liverpool Managed School, we come in the top 5% of the entire world. We are triple accredited AACSB and EQUIS. If you just do a thorough or very quick Google search, you will see that not many, even not all the Russell Group universities have 3 accreditation, but our Liverpool Management School has 3 accreditation, which is a very, very big deal. Okay, so all our courses are popular. The management courses are quite popular. They're ranked. However, our MBA program, the Liverpool MBA on campus, is one of the most popular, one of the most selling programs. So it is ranked within the top 100 according to the World Economist. So the World Economist, they come up with a list claiming the top 100 MBAs in the entire world. So it is for the MBA aspirants. So we were listed in that World Economist list. Talking about career opportunities, you can see on my screen that for different faculties, engineering, computer science, and management, we are associated with different organizations. All right. To name them, we have British Army, British Airways, Bentley, Airbus, Jaguar. Then you have Rolls-Royce, Royal Navy. These are the companies that you're working with, and the students who are from engineering background, like let's say civil, environmental, or mechanical, they will be getting an opportunity to be working with these companies. Moving on to the computer science students, so you can see that we are partners with Google, IBM, HP, Fiat, Logica, Microsoft, Simsim, TomTom, Siemens, TomTom, and Vodafone. So it is a dream for many of the students to work at IBM or Google, and they are obviously, they have world reputation. They are the leaders of the market, and it is quite an opportunity to be working with these companies. So according to the recent data that we pulled up, more than 96.7 students who graduate, they get employment within the city in the UK or any part of the Europe or any part of the world within the first 6 months after they have graduated, right? So we generally have job fairs, we have expos, we have there's a whole team that will help you in getting connected with these companies and organizations. And we have virtual seminars, we have virtual internships. So you will also have aptitude tests, general IQ tests, which will help you which job is more suitable for you. You also have a platform which is known as the Handshake, where the student registered there, and all the companies' employers are also registered there. So there's daily frequent communication among the employers and the prospective employees. And whatever recent event is happening near the university, that is also updated. You will get a chance to get connected with the previous alums of the university who are actually currently working, and with the employers, right? Now, speaking about a management school, we are partnered up with Bloomberg, Cadbury, Coca-Cola, Deloitte, Ernst & Young, Grant Thornton. So these are very, very known companies in the entire UK. And not only they're in the UK, they are also multinational corporations, which means they have presence all over the world. You are already aware of PwC, Kellogg's, KPMG, Shell, Tesco. And these are just few of the names that I've mentioned. Apart from that, there are many, many other companies that we are actually working with. Okay, talking about our most popular courses. So like I told you, we are offering more than 400 courses, right? But due to the inavailability of space, we have just mentioned a few courses here, right? So for undergraduates, so we have law, we have business management, international business, accounting and finance, economics, marketing, engineering, and architecture. So all our UG applications will happen through UCAS. For our postgraduate programs, we have MSc Sports Business Management. We are big on our sports. So we also have MBA in football industries. We have MSc in Sports Business Management. We have Business Analytics and Big Data, which is quite popular for all the students. And Business Analytics and Big Data course can be done by students from engineering background or business background. We very recently we have introduced MSc in Financial Technology, which is a very up and coming course. Apart from that, you have Operation and Supply Chain Management. You have International Business, Masters in Management, Aerospace Engineering. Then you have LLM, Nuclear Science and Technology, Bioinformatics, and Biomedical Engineering with Management Healthcare. So these are very niche courses, not available with different kind of specialization in many universities. Like I told you, our Liverpool MBA is quite popular, and you can see that it is accredited by 3 different professional bodies. Now, talking about courses with placement, so I don't know how many students would wish to come and study with courses which have an industrial year. So basically, for these are just the postgraduate courses. There are many other courses in UG which comes with an industrial year as well. So you have advanced computer science with a year in industry. The duration of the course will be 24 months. So the first year you'll be studying, and the second year you will be working. And then you have advanced computer science with internet economics with a year in industry, big data and high performance computing, and data science and artificial intelligence. One important thing to note about data science and artificial intelligence course is that this is a conversion course, right? And only students who are not from computer science background or related background can go for this. So let's say if a student is switching from mechanical and they want to do something in IT, this would be the perfect course for them, right? So many students are under the impression that if we have done computer science, obviously we'll be studying data science, we can study. But that is not the case here at Liverpool, because this is a conversion course. So if you go through the modules, you will see that those courses are already taught and learned by those students previously, right? So if you have any students from BTech background, computer science, and then want more something with related to computers, then you can go for big data and high performance computing, or then you can go for advanced computer science, right? Talking about our students from electrical and electronics background, they can either study energy and power system with a year in industry, microelectronic system with a year in industry, or finally telecommunication and wireless system, all right? So because IT and software development is in such huge rage right now. That is why telecommunication and wireless system is also one of the most popular courses there is. Talking about our academic requirement, so we need at least 70% or above in your class 12, and 70 to 85% is what we need. So it will depend on the courses that you're studying for. So for computing and engineering courses, we require 70, for business 80, and for other media courses, we need at least 85% and above, okay? And for postgraduate courses, thank you. For postgraduate courses, we need at least, first class. Now talking about our IELTS requirement, we are accepting IELTS, we are accepting PTE and TOEFL. Okay, so IELTS for undergraduate students, it generally requires 6.0 with no one less than 5.5, but for certain courses we need 6.5 with no one less than 5.5. Okay, and the other exceptions like nursing, occupational therapy, diagnostic radiography, for which we require 7.0 with no one less than 6.5. So apart from IELTS, we're also accepting TOEFL and PT requirement. All the information is given on the website. So if you need to know about any particular course, you can just have a quick search on the website to know about which course requires what IELTS condition. Talking about a postgraduate IELTS requirement, so we generally require 6.5 with no band less than 6.0. All right, so that is a basic requirement for, but for certain courses, let's say accounting and finance and masters in management, we need 7.0 with no band less than 6.5. Now, coming to a scholarship, so there are different scholarships available for undergraduate student and postgraduate student. So if the student has 90% and above in their class 12, they'll be getting £2,500 of fee reduction in the first year. If they have 80% and above, then they'll be getting £2,000 off the first year. So that is the International Attainment Scholarship, all right? You don't need to put in a separate application for this. You don't have to put in a separate email or any kind of form or any kind of request. It is straight away given to you, given to the student once they receive an offer. So that is the UG scholarship. There is also something known as University of Liverpool First Class Scholarship. So let's say if the student is maintaining their marks, we require 70% and above for that. So if the student is maintaining the marks throughout the year, at the end of the year, they'll be getting £1,000 fee reduction in the next year. So this is a consequent scholarship, which let's say if the student maintains 70% in the first year, 1,000 will be deducted from the second year. Similarly, if they maintain 70% in the second year, 1,000 will be given off in the third year. So like I told you, there is no separate application necessary for here. The students will automatically be considered on the basis of what they have scored in the 12th. Talking about a postgraduate, we need at least 70% and above for students from BTech or Bachelor of Engineering background. And £2,500 off will be given as the International Attainment Scholarship. And if the student is from BA, BSc or BCom background and they have 65% and above, then they'll be getting £2,500 reduction. All right, so that is on the basis of merit, and it is known as International Attainment Scholarship for PG students. Apart from that, we also have a Commonwealth postgraduate bursary. So students coming from Sri Lanka, they'll be getting £2,000 fee reduction for all the Commonwealth students. So in short, if you're meeting our academic requirement and since you're already a student from Sri Lanka, in short, you'll be getting £4,500 worth of scholarship. So once you receive an offer, if you're meeting the requirements, you will be getting a scholarship mail in the coming days after you receive the offer. Apart from that, you also have Chevening Scholarship or Sport Liverpool Scholarship, which is a complete separate thing, and that requires a separate application altogether. Talking about our postgraduate management school, so you have University of Liverpool Management School Indian Subcontinent Excellence Scholarship for all the students from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. They are eligible for this scholarship. So let's say if you have a very exceptional student who has more than 80 or 90%, we will look at the overall profile of the student, which means the 10, 12 graduation. If the student has any work experience, an excellent SOP or a CV will go a long way. If you feel that the the student has a future leadership potential, we'll be giving that scholarship to the students. So in this scholarship, almost 50% of the fee will be like waived off. So the student will only have to pay the remaining 50, right? So this is a very, what do you call it? A small scholarship in terms that the seats are very limited, and we close it off very early on, and it is first come first serve basis. So that is why we promote as early application as possible. Apart from that, you also have University of Liverpool Management School Liverpool MBA scholarship, the same criteria, but this is only for MBA students. The other is for in either marketing, human resource management, or you have business analytics for other management courses. Now for Liverpool MBA scholarship, the same criteria is here. So it will be either you'll be given the full fee waiver or the partial fee waiver. Talking about the process is quite simple. So basically, you just need to submit an application, get the offer letter within 4 weeks. So that is a standard time. Since it is a Russell Group University, we are issuing the offer letter in 4 weeks or more if required, because we're getting tons of applications for this intake. And after receiving the offer, the student can straight away proceed for CAS, and the initial deposit is just £1,000. All right, so there is not going to be any financial checks, there are not going to be any credibility interview. Straight away, you can go proceed onto the CAS stage after you have made the initial deposit. Okay. Talking about our accommodation, we have more than 4,500 rooms available for on-campus accommodation. There are more than 5 to 6 halls of residence that are located right on the university campus. It is not located off campus. So it is a guaranteed accommodation provided you fill in your accommodation, by 31st July for PG students and for 31st August for UG students. So all the information for accommodation, anything related to it is given on the website. So you can have a 360-degree view of the entire room. Bathroom and toilet is attached to the room, and then you also have a shared kitchen space if the student wants to cook a meal or whatever. You also have security services, free Wi-Fi, and all the bills would be included. You have laundry services, and all the facilities which are there is given, and how to fill up a form, how to pay your accommodation fees, everything will be given on the website. So if you look at the map here, the big blue patch that you have is the university main precinct. That's the main area of the university, and all those halls, the Crown Place, then you have Melville Grove, Vine Court, and Dover Court. These are all the halls of residence, which you can see is right next to it. So it's not going to take you more than a couple of minutes to travel from your accommodation to reach the university's building, right? And apart from that, all the other tourist attraction that you have, whether it is the dog, the gallery, the football stadium is just 2 to 3 kilometers away. So that is it. I'm done with the presentation. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know.
Hi, Salaria. So it was an informative presentation we had. I believe so much of students have got the information they need. And we have a few questions coming in. The question number 1 would be is that, can I apply for a bachelor's top-up? I have completed a HND, and what is the entry requirement? I have not got through my A-level. So this is a student who have coming after O-levels and have done HND. I'm not quite sure about the age, but looking for a top-up. Let's say a person who
I understand, but I also need to understand the gap that the student have, which year they have completed their HND, and what was the duration of that HND. Right. So basically what happens, without even having that information, I'll just give you a very brief knowledge about it, that all our UG applications will happen through UCAS, right? So if they need that, they will have to go for a year 3 entry. Okay, so if you are, I need to understand the gap that you have, your age, and if they're going to map the modules, if you have studied, if they feel that you have covered those modules which are going to be taught in the 1st and 2nd year, if you have covered those modules, then we can give you a 3rd year entry. All right, and just let me know about your scores also. If you have desired scores, then yes, you can apply through UCAS for a top-up entry.
So let's say a student who have coming for a top-up degree and who will be completing a 1 year there. How does their post-study work visa going to be, Scenario?
So post-study work visa for all the students, whether it is PG, UG, is the same. So they'll be getting 2 years of PSW, right? For all the international students who are coming to study, not just for Liverpool, it is for all. So you must already be aware that from 1st July they are going to open the graduate route, so they can start applying for the PSW. So the likewise for students who will be studying there, you will be getting 2 years of PSW. And I think there's another student who's asking whether or not how is it possible to get work visa. Basically, we are not related to that work visa thing. We only look after the graduate route, the student route. So basically, if you're looking for a work visa, you have to get employed with a company, and that company will help you in getting your skilled visa, which means that you will be coming under their jurisdiction. They'll be providing you and helping you with the visa, not the university. The university is just responsible for the graduate route visa. All right. So even after you're done with the PSW, I think you will need to get an employment basically from a good company, so that they'll help you with the work visa. And they said that they're looking for MBA, so it is the same for all courses, not just for MBA. It is similar for all the courses.
So when it's come to students who are going for the postgrad, especially they will be looking for the dependent visa as well. Many students will be looking into that. So is there any particular requirement for the spouse when it's come to dependent?
No, there's no requirement as such. It's just that those students need to fill, they should fulfill the, what do you call it, just the financial condition. That's it. There's no academic condition. You just need to fulfill the financial condition. You just have to show the living expenses. So if you want, you can apply for your spouse visa as well.
Right.
There's no particular requirement from the university's point of view. You just need to follow the UKVI point of view. That's it.
All right. So the other one, I think the most asked questions when it's come to Sri Lankan student is that a possibility to do without IELTS, postgraduate in MSc in sports management?
No, I don't think so. Without IELTS, it's possible because we would be needing IELTS 6.5 at least, with no band less than 6.0. So unfortunately, waiver will not be given.
Yeah, because most of the time students love to see whether they can skip IELTS and do it, but
yeah,
actually,
I understand. Generally, all these, even when it comes to Bangladesh, the students have to appear for IELTS.
Yeah. So, Revati, it's actually a visa requirement as well. So you have to work with IELTS. And one thing is the other one is that the current job market, Salari, how does it at the moment with the COVID situation and all?
Things are looking up, most definitely. Last year the condition was quite worse when the UK was in the entire lockdown. So basically, more than 50% of the residents there, they have been vaccinated, and the lockdown situation have improved. And the people are traveling, and the borders are open, and most importantly, all the restaurants, the malls, and all the public areas, they are opening, all right, and they have many opened last month only, around 17th of May, right? So they have started opening public places and shops, malls, restaurants. So the students who are coming back, they are going ahead and looking for those part-time jobs. Yeah. So availability is there, especially in a city like Liverpool, because like I told you, it's an established city, it is a well-established city, and the population is quite huge. And so, if the student comes to a well-established city, the chances of getting a part-time or a full-time job increases. So yes, if you are coming to Liverpool, you will be getting, however, there's no stats as such, and also depend on what kind of jobs you're looking for, what kind of jobs you're getting, but it also depends on the students and the scenario. But basically, yes, things have improved a lot, and things are getting back to normal.
I think the final question is actually a question most of the students might have, is that now with the restrictions happening even in India and Sri Lanka, they have a bit of a challenge to get to their visa and arrange documents. Let's say a student who join for September intake have to do their visa, and if there was a delay in the visa, how does it going to be? Can they enroll online and start?
No, I think there is no point. I don't think so. There will be a provision of starting online classes and then joining on campus. So basically, what was given to the students last intake, I don't think so it is possible now, right? Because if the borders are opening, if the VFS starts functioning, so I don't think so they will be given the option to do online. However, we have to look at the conditions when the intake comes closer. because yeah, it's quite dicey. However, if needed, the university will definitely give a provision. If we see that there's a delay in getting visa, if there's a delay in booking tickets and something, then obviously it's not a very big thing. They will be giving you provision to either they will extend the last date of enrollment, or they're going to allow the student to start the classes online, take a couple of weeks more, and then reach the UK. So that will be announced shortly once we start, sending out CASs, looking at visa situation and everything. And once we see how the condition is, then we are going to give a kind of an answer.
Right, Salaria. So those are the questions we have for today. And thank you everyone for joining, and thanks, Salaria, for allocating time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Particular tough situation as well. So thanks everyone, and please join with us in our next webinar as well. And if you have any question, you can always write to us, and you can call us through 0701 070 and 070. And thank you everyone, and stay safe, and hope to see you soon. See you guys.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.